Hello students, in the last class we have discussed about principle of confidentiality, right? Today let us understand the concept of generally accepted accounting principle, that is GAAP. So already you have studied in the previous classes. GAAP refers to a common set of accounting principles or standards or procedures issued by the Financial Accounting Standard Board. So generally accepted accounting principles, name itself says that generally accepted accounting policies or accounting standards, accounting procedures, that is issued by GAAP is issued by Financial Accounting Standard Board. Usually every accountant he generally accepted these principles, understood? So he usually call it as GAAP, that is generally accepted accounting principle. So GAAP is a combination of authoritative standards and the commonly accepted ways of recording and reporting accounting information. While any accountant while he entering the transaction in the books of account, usually he accepted some of the ways of recording and reporting accounting information, that is GAAP. So here usually GAAP is accepted by every accountant to record, to report the accounting information. So GAAP aims to improve the clarity, consistency and comparability of the communication of financial information. So this the main objective of the generally accepted accounting principle is to improve the clarity of the accounting information, is to improve the consistency of the accounting information as well as the comparability of the accounting information with another company or another country. This is the main motto of generally accepted accounting principle. So GAAP may be contrasted with the pro forma accounting. So pro forma is one of the accounting which is a non-GAAP financial reporting method. Internationally, this equivalent to GAAP in the United States is referred to as International Financial Reporting Standards, that is IFRS. So IFRS is followed in over 120 countries including those in the European Union, but GAAP is followed by only the United States, that is US, understood? So this is the meaning of GAAP. Understanding about the GAAP helps to govern the world of accounting according to general rules and guidelines. It attempts to standardize and regulate the definitions, assumptions and methods used in accounting across all industries. So this generally accepted accounting principles which helps to govern the rules and guidelines about the accounting information or while recording the business transactions. Usually every accountant he is follow these rules and guidelines, understood? The ultimate goal of GAAP is ensure a company's financial statement are complete or consistent and comparable. This makes it easier for investors to analyze and extract useful information from the company's financial statements, including trend data over a period of time. It also facilitates the comparison of financial information across different companies. So the main goal of generally accepted accounting principle is to observe the financial statements are complete, whether the financial statements are consistent, whether the financial statements are comparable with another financial statement. So this is the main goal of generally accepted accounting principle. So this will makes the investor to invest in particular company, to start invest in a particular company, understood? So it use them, it will help them to analyze and extract the useful information about the company as well as useful information about the financial statement, including the trend data, that trend data, and also it facilitates the comparison of financial information, I already told. So the main aim of GAAP is to compare the financial information in across different companies in different countries. So this is about the understanding about the GAAP. There are several concepts that can help you to remember the main mission of GAAP. The next concept is mission of GAAP. So these are the main concepts which can help you to remember the mission of GAAP. So these are first one, principle of regularity. The accountant has adhered to GAAP rules and regulations as a standard. So every accountant, he is to follow the rules and regulations of generally accepted accounting principles as a standard, because generally accepted principles are the standards. These are the common set of accounting standards or common set of accounting principles issued by the FASB. Understood? That's why every accountant, he should follow the rules and regulations of GAAP as a standard. Next one, principle of consistency. So every accountant should commit to applying the same standards throughout the reporting process. So he is not supposed to change the standards in the middle of the year or in the middle of the reporting process. That's why every accountant, he is to commit to apply the same standard throughout the reporting process from one period to the next to ensure financial comparability between periods. So this will be useful to compare the financial information or financial statements between the periods. So accountants are expected to fully disclose and explain the reasons behind any changes or updates in the standards, the footnotes to the financial statements. So every accountant, he is to fully disclose and explain the reasons. What is the reason for changes in the financial statement? What is the updates about the financial statements? Understood? This is about the principle of consistency. The next one, principle of sincerity. Accountant strives to provide an accurate and impartial depiction of a company's financial situation. So he is to provide, every accountant, he is to provide an accurate information to the head of the department or to the top management of the company or the users of the accounting information of the company. And next one, principle of permanence of methods. The procedures used in financial reporting should be consistent. That I had already told, right? So every accountant, he is to follow the financial procedures or financial systems or financial principles should be same. It should be consistent. Understood? Allowing comparison of the company's financial information. So if any accountant, if he use the particular system, particular principle, then this will be useful to the to compare the financial information in any time. Understood? So if in the case of, if he is flexible to while using the procedures of the accounting, then this leads to, or by this we cannot compare the financial information of different companies. The next one, principle of non-compensation. Both negatives and positives should be reported with full transparency. Every accountant, he should to report all the positives, all the negatives of the particular company's information about the particular statement with full transparency and without the expectation of debt compensation. He is not supposed to expect any compensation, debt compensation from anybody. This is about principle of non-compensation. That means both negatives, if is there any negatives or if is there any positives in the company's financial information, then he should report with full transparency. And next one, principle of prudence, emphasizing every accountant, he should report such a fact-based financial data information. He is to represent all financial data with fact. Understood? So emphasizing fact-based financial data presentation that is not clouded by speculation. That is the reason he is to report all the fact-based financial data presentation. And next one, principle of continuity. So while valuing the assets, it should be assumed that business will continue to operate. He is not supposed to assume the business is not or business will not continue to operate. So while valuing the assets, every accountant, he should be assumed that the business will continue to operate for next 10 years, continue to operate for next 20 years. Understood? So he is not supposed to assume the business will not continue to operate. Understood? Next one, principle of periodicity. That means entries should be distributed across the appropriate periods of time. Take for example, revenue should be reported in its relevant accounting period, or else expenses should be reported in its relevant accounting period. That means every entries should be distributed in appropriate periods of time. So every accountant, he is to follow the periods of time when there is a revenue or when there is a expenses, then he should be reported in its relevant accounting period only. That is a principle. And next one, principle of materiality or good faith. So every accountant must strive to fully disclose all financial data and accounting information in financial report. So every accountant, he is to disclose all financial data. He is not supposed to leave some data or leave some financial information and accounting information in financial report. That is a principle of materiality or principle of good faith. The next one, principle of utmost good faith. So derived from the Latin word, and it purposes that the parties remain honest in all transactions. Understood? It usually it used within the insurance industry. That is principle of utmost good faith. So in generally accepted accounting principle, every parties here, the parties are accountants or top management or middle level management, they remain honest in all transactions. That is a principle of utmost good faith says. Understood? So these are the mission of GAAP. So these 10 points, the above 10 points or general concepts, which can help you to remember the main mission of GAAP. So usually it called as or mission of GAAP, that is principle of regularity, principle of consistency, principle of sincerity, and principle of permanence of methods, non-compensation, prudence, continuity, periodicity, materiality, and principle of utmost good faith. I hope this concept is understood, right? In a simple, we can say that GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, these are the common set of accounting principle, common set of accounting standards, common set of accounting procedures. Usually it called as GAAP. So here the main country or the US, it usually uses this GAAP, that is generally accepted accounting principle, and rest of that countries are using IFRS. So this is about a small concept about generally accepted accounting principle. If you have any doubts, you can clarify it. Thank you.